1388787. Let me be clear, the Orange County Fair is the means whereby the Costa Mesa Police Department, while the light source remains directly over me like this, is the means whereby the entity is engaged in the same exact pattern of conduct there at every intersection as I'm crossing path. The fake sun's remaining over me. Costa Mesa PD are group stalking. This is gate number 2, maintaining presence at every gate, and it's the outward appearance is manning the fairgrounds. 1490197. That's a female. She's group stalking. 9CXW839 is as well. This is the same exact pattern of conduct. That's why it's not over Alvarado Gardens. It's over me in Orange County. This is the P.O.C. This is how state surveillance operates. This is what it looks like. Okay, I'm at Fairview Drive, and what is the cross street? 9CQU997. They're all group stalking right now. Let me document. License plate 9BOV431 6CKM077. License 9CXW839, in case I didn't read that one yet. I'm going to upload this to the podcast as well. Look at this phenomenon. This is the fake sun over me in Orange County, California, which you can see through the windshield of the vehicles in front of me on the street. There's no mistaking where the light source is, that which is not possibly the sun, keeping that zenith presence over me, but I'm in an entirely different region where the sun was rising and setting at one apartment complex. As of late, that was Alvarado Gardens. And then when I leave that venue, 7ZCW656 is group stalking. Then when I leave that venue and go to the Monrovia Town Place Suites by Marriott at Myrtle and Huntington, where there's supposedly a sun that's outside visible through the hotel room of 417 that's facing Myrtle and Huntington, how is that going to be at 6:01 p.m.? How is that? It's not going to be. That's not the natural environment, and it wasn't when I was there, because you know that because I'm there at that same hotel at 8:24 in the morning, and the so-called sun is still there. That's not the sun. In the same way that this isn't the sun that maintains a zenith presence over all of us everywhere, no matter where you're going. The identification of a demon driving a vehicle to group stalk you, 5WOS593, and doing so with Costa Mesa PD, who are using the OC Fair as a means of criminal presence and light activity. That's called malice. That's the malice of the system. That's exactly how you will see the POC underway. At this point in history, when we still have a constitution, when it's unlawful for the entity to engage in this surveillance system, it's going to appear just as how you saw it at the Orange County Fair, who I will be civilly and criminally prosecuting. There's no statute of limitations with regard to the workplace terrorism and harassment that OC Fair engaged in, documented. Before I had the weaponry, the artillery of the POC, and the entity engaged in egregious abuse while I was on the job, including, by the way, group stalking conduct by 107.9. You might listen to scripture. You might listen to sermons on that radio station. They were group stalking at the OC Fair. You do not know them by what they declare, by where they work with regard to a Christian radio station. You know them by their deeds, and I'm only pointing that out because they were present in the same environment with regard to every other person, and there are no exceptions, first of all, and there will be no exceptions with regard to a prosecution under the same facts. It's not going to, oh, you're a Christian, you work for 107.9, you're not going to be prosecuted. I want to let you know that's not how the federal government is going to treat that, and that's not the case. The entity is engaging in surveillance here. That's what this is, aiming lights on the vehicles. This is POC. This is how the entity engages in criminal presence and light activity, and that's a demon. You also know that, let me zoom out, because here's the fake sun right here over me. The entity is doing so while I am there, and that's the means whereby the Costa Mesa Police Department are engaging in criminal presence, and I want you to see this engineer light that's inside of my car. This is my shadow that's appearing on the inside of the car. And then you have what's supposedly sunlight that's appearing on the inside, because that's supposed to be the sunlight coming from the sun, but you have the inexplicable creation of my shadow inside. So how is that? That's called impossible light activity, and that's a group stalker. License 9JXM428. 8PWJ695. These are demons who are surrounding. Light source through the windshield, 88KC026. There's no sun over the Monrovia Town Place Suites by Marriott. And I told you that while I was there, and I told you what is the fate of those that work at a crime scene, that engage in facilitation. The entity that's engaged in Title 18, Section 2261A, subsections 1 and 2, instead of behooving them, it would behoove them to take heed to the target individual's documentation, because as I stated, while you engage in the POC upon initiation of documentation, you are posing an impermissible threat. You will find yourself in federal prison. The entity did not do that. Kept the fake sun over the hotel, and everybody kept reporting to work. Everybody kept checking in and checking out. Everybody kept engaging in terrorism via amplification. 6XSD547. Everybody kept engaging in harassment. Everybody kept engaging in what is sexual violence amongst the demonic features of the system, and they will be met with the consequences. There's no sun that's over Monrovia, the hotel at Myrtle and Huntington, which is the case. There's no sun over the Ovid Family Community Library. There's no sun over the police department that is Costa Mesa while I'm in Orange County. That's not the sun. That's over me. While they're using lights and presence 26K2529, I believe. The entity is engaging in the malicious system of federal group stalking and monitoring, and it's a threat to your life while they look to the left and right like every other demon. And those are police departments that engage in terrorism via helicopter as well, which I have been subject to in this very same exact city, same exact county. Okay, so I want to be clear, it is currently 4:45 p.m. and just as a note, where I drove by right now at Fairview, where the fair is, it's in relevant position to where I'm at Best Western. And the fact that whether I know that or not, which I did not know, but your specific knowledge about where a fair is going or some event where the entity is maintaining presence by police, that's what the police do when they're group stalking. They can surround, they can create an event like a parade inside of the plaza, and then the police will serve by maintaining presence all around to maintain order, and they're engaged in group stalking. So it has nothing to do with the fact that I picked the hotel and they didn't know that I was going to be there. It has nothing to do with that, nor does that govern the specific environment governs. The reason why this phenomenon, which is a scientific impossibility, never forget that. While someone wants to contend, well, the targeted individual came to Orange County and nobody knew her, that is legally irrelevant. The engineer light, the pacing by commercial airline planes, they're monitoring with Costa Mesa PD, who are right around the block monitoring me while that video that I captured at Best Western was underway. Just want to point that out. It is indeed the P.O.C. I'm at Harbor Boulevard. The entity is crossing paths by planes. Costa Mesa PD is group stalking. That's everywhere. I capture heavy helicopter activity as these foolish terrorist organizations provide that wealth of documentation. These terrorist organizations that are corrupt law enforcement agencies, they're always group stalking. That's what the helicopter activity is pointing to. Do not mistake the fact that you're looking at no helicopter activity or none documented today, the fact that they're not engaged in the pattern of conduct. That's not what that means. ACESHIG, a white Tesla. ACESHIG, a demon that's engaging in criminal conduct with the state. I'm at, again, and I believe this is Newport Beach Boulevard. This is P.O.C. It's currently 4:47 p.m. There's no sun outside of my leasing office at Alvarado Gardens. There's no sun that's going to be in alignment with my bedroom window. There is no sunset outside of my bedroom window in Los Angeles, as I stated was the case. That's how you know what Costa Mesa PD is maliciously engaging in. And the Orange County Fair, which is the identification of a venue. One that I've already been subject to this pattern of conduct, which was the shown through the harassment that I've endured. And there's no statute of limitations for the state's pattern of conduct. I will be prosecuting the Orange County Fair. All right, which is the state. It's a state facilitating venue. It is a state facilitating venue as opposed to a third party facilitating venue. All right, again, it's 4:47 p.m. This is P.O.C.